All right, what's up, guys? Back with another Ethereum episode. I will start things off with an update on the Federal Reserve, and then we will move into Ethereum. Okay, so the Fed. As discussed in the last Coinbase episode, I did not believe the Fed was going to pivot and would most likely keep interest rates the same for the next few months. That's exactly what the Fed did. Quoting a CNBC article, higher than expected inflation data to start 2024 triggered caution from top Fed officials, and the January FOMC meeting concluded with the central bank saying it needed more evidence that prices were decelerating before it would gain greater confidence on inflation and start cutting. Statements from Powell and other policymakers since then added to the sentiment of a patient, data-driven approach, and markets have had to reprice. Powell and his cohorts have indicated that with the economy still growing at a healthy pace and unemployment below 4%, they can take a more measured approach when loosening monetary policy. The economy is strong, inflation has come way down, Powell said, and that gives us the ability to approach this question carefully and feel more confident that inflation is moving down sustainably at 2% when we take that step to begin dialing back our restrictive policy. So just like most people, I don't really care nor believe what the Fed or Jerome Powell has to say because I think it's a bunch of bullshit. I mainly care about their actions, right? Actions speak louder than words. So what does the majority of the Fed officials believe will happen for the rest of 2024 in regards to interest rates? Well, on screen right now is the Fed dot plot. So as you can see on the 2024 column, right, this is the 2024 column, the majority of Fed officials believe that the federal funds rate at the end of 2024 will be at 4.75%. The current federal funds rate is at 5.5%. So taking the difference between 5.5% and 4.75% leaves us with a difference of 0.75%. So 75 basis points basically breaks down to 3 rate cuts at 25 basis points each per cut. So the majority of Fed officials believe the Fed will pivot in 2024 and we will see 3 rate cuts by the end of the year. So big news that happened yesterday that got overshadowed by the US suing Apple, Switzerland has officially pivoted. So guys, I want to get into Ethereum, so I am just going to read the key points here. The Swiss National Bank on Thursday surprised the market with a decision to lower its main policy rate by 0.25 percentage points to 1.5%. Economists polled by Reuters had expected the Swiss central bank to hold rates at 1.75%. Switzerland is the first advanced economy to cut interest rates following a prolonged period of high inflationary pressures. So hopefully, with Switzerland pivoting this week, this is going to give confidence to the Bank of England, the European Central Bank, and the Federal Reserve to follow in Switzerland's footsteps and pivot in the future as well. Okay, so finally moving into Ethereum. In the last Ethereum episode, we talked about the potential of Ethereum hitting $4,000. Ethereum did end up hitting $4,000, but since then has gotten rejected. So today I want to address the notion that Ethereum is weak, because I see a lot of people posting Bitcoin is at new all-time highs, but Ethereum is not at new all-time highs, which means it's much better to own Bitcoin than Ethereum from now on. So let me provide a counter-argument to that. First off, Ethereum usually pumps after Bitcoin, so it's not too surprising to see Bitcoin hit new all-time highs before Ethereum. Second of all, Ethereum is showing more strength this market cycle as opposed to the last market cycle. In the last market cycle before the Bitcoin halving, Ethereum only got to the 50% Fibonacci retracement. This market cycle, Ethereum has made it to the 78.6% Fibonacci retracement. So as you can see, even though Ethereum is not at new all-time highs, that doesn't mean Ethereum is weaker this market cycle. On the contrary, as I just showed you guys, Ethereum is showing more strength this market cycle as opposed to the last market cycle. Okay, in the last Ethereum episode, I gave you guys the 1.618 and 1.786 Fibonacci retracement resistance levels that spanned between $3,708.40 and $4,305.70. So Ethereum has gotten a slight rejection so far, dropping as much as $1,000 this week. So when I take a look at the weekly time frame, the move off the October 2023 lows was really the first bullish impulse Ethereum has had since the bear market bottom was set in 2022. Most of Ethereum's price action off the bear market low was very corrective, with a lot of overlapping price action hugging the 200 weekly moving average in red. If you want to take some profits off the table, I think Ethereum is the last thing you should sell, because this recent pump since October of last year is really the first bullish move Ethereum has had. The pump off the October lows, in my opinion, is really the beginning of Ethereum's ascent to $14,000. As I said in 2023, the 200 weekly moving average in red was most likely going to serve as a launchpad for much higher Ethereum prices. The biggest mistake, in my opinion, right now is to be too cautious and protective. People may make fun of people who hodl, but it is a fact that people who hodl end up having the last laugh. So I gave the worst case scenarios in the last Coinbase episode and in the last Bitcoin episode. So for Ethereum, the worst case scenario for me would basically be a retest of the Fibonacci retracement support area that spans between $2,220.10 to $2,804.90. Within that region lies the black liquidity trendline and the 200 weekly moving average in red, which will come into the support area in a few weeks. Right now, it's difficult to forecast what is going to happen to Ethereum in the short term, because as you can see, Ethereum is stuck between the resistance levels I gave you in the last episode and the current support levels. Should Ethereum drop into our support area, that will provide another opportunity to buy the dip on Ethereum. Like I said a few seconds ago, I think the biggest mistake at the moment is to be too cautious and protective, specifically in regards to Ethereum. So the second thing I want to talk about is the monthly RSI indicator. Similar to Bitcoin, whenever Ethereum's monthly RSI goes above 70, that's when the majority of Ethereum's gains actually happen. Because as you can see back in February of 2017, once the monthly RSI went above 70, Ethereum ended up pumping from $16 per coin all the way up to $1,340 per coin. Fast forward to November of 2020, when the monthly RSI went above 70, Ethereum once again pumped from $753 per coin all the way up to nearly $5,000 per coin. The current monthly RSI reading is at 67. So we are close, but not quite there yet. Another thing I want to address, the bull market usually comes to an end when bearish divergence starts printing on the monthly time frame. And as you can see on screen, there is no bearish divergence on the monthly time frame at the moment. Okay, so let's close things off with the Ethereum against Bitcoin valuation. I sound like a broken record since episode 1, but I am not changing my stance on the Ethereum against Bitcoin valuation. I still believe at some point in this bull market, Ethereum is going to outperform Bitcoin. Predicting the direction of a market is one thing, but predicting the timing is another thing. I remember in 2022 and 2023 when people were talking about how both Bitcoin and Ethereum were briefly trading under the 200 weekly moving average in red, and how Bitcoin was supposedly going to drop to $8,000 or $10,000. Well, that did not happen. Same concept is happening here. Price is just consolidating right under the 200 weekly moving average in red. What you read in the textbooks about perfect bounces and rejections do not apply in the real world, because in the real world, market makers and algos know the exact information you know and more. When we least expect it, this chart is going to pump significantly to the upside, and I still stand by my bull market projection for the Ethereum against Bitcoin valuation, which in my opinion is set to more than double to 0.129. Okay, so that's my analysis on Ethereum for this week. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.